Good morning, everybody. This is from our Movement Monday. We're talking about the language of authenticity. When we originally was talking about the language of authenticity, we said it was an opportunity for us to grow relationally by sharing our stories, testimonies, and God moments together. And so when I began to look at the definition of the word authentic basically means to be of undisputed origin and to be genuine. And when I thought of genuine, I thought of pure, I thought of truth, I thought of something being real. And real in our day, it seems as though being real, being truthful, is just rare. But I realized that's not the case. I realized that because it's rare isn't what gives it value. It's because the one who places the value in it. For example, Proverbs 31, it says that a noble wife who can find. And before I was like, yeah, she's rare because she's noble. But really, in essence, it uses the word wife, which means that in the eyes of the husband, she is rare or she is noble, according to how he sees her. And I realized, the word authentic basically means of undisputed origin and genuine. And I realized if we do not have or know our origin, then we lose um, the truth. Because many people can have their own truths. Their truths can be their opinions, but if there isn't an origin from which that truth comes from, then it's just an opinion. It's just their idea of what something is. And so I'm gonna tell you a small story. There's this tennis shoe that I wanted this year called the Space Hippies. They made four. I wanted the Space Hippie threes, and so I tried my hardest to get these shoes. Look, the shoe game has changed, and so the reason why I got so invested in this shoe was because the idea was very innovative. It was the concept was really cool. It was based off of Mars, but yet they used sustainable, recyclable materials, trash in essence, to create the soul of the shoe. The technology that went into it, the material, everything about this shoe, I got invested into it for what I knew about it. And so it wasn't necessarily the shoe became rare to the people to because of the mass amount of people who wanted it. Um, and the quality of it is what I was going after. And I realized like we as human beings, we have we have an origin, an undisputed origin in God of who we are. If we don't know that, then we tend to lose ourselves. But most importantly, um, if we don't know that, we can't find value in each other. Um, and so, as we begin to share our stories and testimonies with each other and get invested in each other, that is major for us to continue to grow in that. I got 3 points. One is the manufacturing, the material, and the maker's signature of approval. And so, I'm just taking this concept of sneakers right now. So, to manufacture something is basically the process of producing a product. In the process, you have tools, you have machinery. They need instructions, so they have manuals. These bodies are systems for the soul, and basically ourselves. We are the system. We are the system for the soul. We need a manual. We need the Word of God. We need instructions. We need tools and machinery. Iron sharpens iron. We need fellowship. We need we need to be in church to feed. We need um, to be in the Word. We need to pray. We need to communicate with the Maker, and so there's things in our manufacturing process that we need in order for us to be our authentic selves, to know our authentic selves. Um, in that, there's some scriptures that we shared last time. Philippians 2:3 says, "Be free from pride-filled opinions, for they will only harm your cherished unity." Don't allow self-promotion to hide in your heart, but in authentic humility, put others first and view others as more important than yourselves. That's Philippians 2:3. Philippians 4:8 says, so keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real, honorable and admirable, beautiful and respectful, pure and holy, merciful and kind, and fasten your thoughts on every glorious work of God, praising Him always. And so, how do we get this material? How do we get these thoughts? How do we get these pure thoughts? Is I think about Adam and Eve. You know, at the fall of man, there are things that begin to happen in their minds, in their manufacturing system. They begin to think about, they begin to have inadequacies. They begin to feel inferiority, maybe insecurity towards each other. They begin to doubt, fear, shame begin to overcome them. Maybe some regret. These things begin to come into their system and kill the purity and the holiness. And so what they begin to do, they begin to hide, like we just spoke about in one of the scriptures. They begin to hide. And in that hiding, they begin to manufacture something to cover themselves. And when they made that thing to cover themselves, it was made out of leaves. This thing that was made out of leaves, the material was weak. It just shows me that the material that we try to place in our own lives is so much weaker than the maker's material. And so we need because when God came in and He placed material on them, He skinned an animal and placed that on them. It's so funny that we have these tennis shoes, and ironically enough, they're made from leather, from materials from animals. And so God's materials is so much greater than any material that we can create. Last but not least, the maker's signature of approval. And so one of the things I like about Nikes is that it has this nice little swoosh on there, and it is the maker's logo. Now think about that, because in the Word of God, in the Greek, the word logos or logos basically means the Word of God. And so we need the Word of God to be in us, our stamp of approval, because when we go through through the testing or the trials that test basically our authenticity, we need to show ourselves approved. We need the maker's signature of approval. And so with that, we will have some testing. It is without a shadow of a doubt, we're going to have testing to go through in order to solidify the maker's signature of approval in our lives. 1 Peter 1:6-7 says, in all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. What about your material that when you go through what you go through is producing praise, is producing glory, is producing in such a way that when other people see you, they're like, my goodness, they're going through, but something about them is authentic. Something about them is rare. Something about them, and when they find out that the maker stamp of approval is on them, how much more do they want what has been produced in you and through you? James 1:3-4 says, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. And so I just love that. I love that. I have another illustration. I have two pair of shoes here. This one, newer pair of shoes that I've only worn a few times. This one, I wore it out. Both of these shoes are rare. Both of these shoes are rare. This one is tore up to pieces though, because I found so much value in it that I used it all the time. I danced in it, I worked in it, I've done so much in it. One, because of the giver who gave these shoes to me. Um, my god brother gave me these shoes. Very rare shoe. As torn up as it may be, right now this shoe is way worth more than this shoe. But I guarantee if the maker of Nike or if uh, uh, KD himself signed this shoe, no matter how messed up it be, it would be worth this other shoe. And so the Lord is just on me today, like, look, I want to use you. I want to use you out. I want to use you. Um, so much so, I also want to put my stamp of approval on you, and I want to put my signature upon you, that your worth is way greater than so many other things. And so, so as we go through the stuff that we go through, as we share, as we come together, you know, I just want to begin to build that language of authenticity. Ashlyn and I just really want to love on our team and really spend more fellowship, whatever that may look like, especially in these times. But in that, we want to grow and have God's signature of approval on us, and may lives be changed in the process. All right. Much love, y'all.